Welcome back, treasure hunters. So I have a whole bunch of stuff that I want to share with you. I had a huge haul on Sunday at a Goodwill, the local Goodwill that I go to. I ended up spending $69, got a whole bunch of really cool old antique stuff, a lot of Chinese art, and I also have some other treasures that I found right before that over the weekend. So I have a whole bunch of stuff that I wanted to review with you and show you how much I got it for and what really caught my eye about it. So if you're interested to see all the great stuff that I found, just keep watching. So I think someone must have at my Goodwill, I'll start with all the stuff that I found on Sunday and put it all in. I spent $69 and I think someone must have either inherited or was moving or something and donated a bunch of vintage and antique Chinese porcelain, vases, pottery, that kind of stuff. Because there was a whole bunch of stuff that was all put out on the same day, because Goodwill will tell you when, like on the price tag, it says when the stuff was put out. It was all put out on the same day. A lot of the stuff is kind of similar. So I've had that happen a couple times before where I, would run across a whole bunch of glass sculptures that were actually pretty nice glass sculptures or stuff like that, or art too. You find a bunch of the same type of art from an artist or two. And those are always, it's kind of just lucky to come across something like that. It is good, obviously, when you do, because you can get a lot of great items at a really good value. First thing I'll show you, and all of this stuff I got on Sunday. So I got actually two of these. These are terrines. They don't have a mark on the bottom. I'm pretty sure they're fairly old. It's always hard for me to tell like how old these kind of pieces of porcelain are, but just by the looks of it, I think these are antique or in that range, but they're hand painted. This side has some flowers to it. And then the other side, just has a scene, which looks like maybe a family or something. I'm not really too keen on this type of vintage stuff, like the Chinese stuff, but I can tell fairly good, like, modern from older pieces. I think these are the Chinese exports that are considered antique. They aren't made as well as some of the very valuable pieces, but they still are fairly valuable. And I do see a decent amount of these, but seeing that these were so big, and I'll show you the other one too. Pretty sure it's the same or very similar, but here's the other one. They both don't have any major damage. Like on the top here, that little handle, there is a little bit of the gold missing, but there are no like giant cracks or damage to it. And I got both of these were priced at $5.99. And I almost kind of felt bad for, just rolling through and piling up a cart, because I actually obviously had to stop what I was doing and go get a cart and put all this stuff in it, but can't just leave it there. So I did get two of these soup tureens for $5.99 each. And I'm not exactly sure, just because I don't know how old they are, but I did see a lot of similar type items selling in, the $150 to $300 range. Even if I priced both at the lower end, it's still a really good profit off of both of those. And the next thing I found here, and this one still has a price tag on it. I paid $11.99 for this, and this is an antique. This is actually Japanese. It's a Satsuma vase, and it is marked on the bottom. But the thing I like, and I have come across sort of similar items like this, but I like the 3D figures, you know, the of these women popping out on this. That makes it a little bit more different from some of the regular stuff that I see that is okay. But this is a larger piece, and they also had some Japanese plates like this too, but they were just smaller dessert dishes that I think they were priced at like $3.29 a piece. And I already had enough stuff and I just let those ones go. But it's in very good condition, except, I mean, the inside's really dirty, but obviously, I mean, it's pretty old. So there is no cracks or anything. I haven't really looked up how much I could get for a vase like this, but I think, you know, and I was kind of surprised it was priced at $11.99. Usually when I see pieces like this, they're between like $5 and $8. But again, I mean, that's only like $4. But it, you know, it just was surprising that they priced this one up, but it was still a really good deal. So here's the next thing that I got on Sunday, and I don't do a whole lot, like I don't buy too many lamps, but this one immediately caught my eye as kind of a mid-century modern type lamp. And it has these, you know, metal, I don't know what to call them, spokes almost coming up. And the top also has this, you know, just abstract design of lines. But this, I'll have to look here. I don't know, you won't be able to see. Oops. These are, it says Rembrandt lamps, and I had heard of that, and they make, you know, a whole bunch of lamps, you know, especially vintage lamps. And I would say this is probably, obviously mid-century, so it'd probably be from 50s to 70s, I would think. And this was $7.49. And this is one of those items that I always am adamant on, you know, when you see them pull out carts or the carts are sitting there and they're full of stuff, to always check those out. This was on the top of one of those carts, tipped over, and I just saw the top of it like this. And one of the giveaways that made me look further into it was the top is different. You know, a lot of just regular cheaper lamps will have, you know, the same type of, I don't even know what to call this thing, but same type of top here. This is missing the piece that would hold a shade, but you could buy those and no one would really know. So it's not a huge deal. The brass here isn't in perfect condition, but I don't expect people to really, you know, especially if they're buying it on eBay or Etsy. If it was on like an auction site, maybe it'd be, you know, they'd expect it to be all nice and polished and in really good condition. But anyway, the lamp shade, you know, once they put it on, would be covering that stuff. So I'm not really sure exactly what I would sell this piece for, but for $7.49.59, whatever it was, most of the vintage type lamps like this were selling, you know, between $150 and $300. But I didn't find any like this one. That's, you know, a lot of them were just like different kinds of brass lamps, or, you know, more lamps that you would see more often. This is a little more abstract, I guess. So I think I should definitely be able to get at least $100 for it, seeing that it's older and it's just kind of cool and different. Next thing I found, I didn't exactly know what or where this came from, and the price tag, and I also had some of those little pads on the bottom that they, you know, people stick on here so it doesn't damage their furniture or whatever. When I initially saw this, I honestly thought it was maybe European just because of the coloring, but this is actually Mexican. And this was only like $3.29. So I really didn't even look it up. I just saw that it had some writing on the bottom, but the price tag was pretty much covering a lot of this up. And then you had the little stickers around there, so I couldn't read what it said. And this one, it does have a little tiny chip here at the top, but I mean, that's really not that noticeable. But this is actually, it comes from Mexico, and it says Tavera on the bottom here. So this is, I did find a bunch of other pieces just like this, and they are old, but a lot of the other ones I saw were like multicolored and looked a lot more like Mexican pottery to me, but this one being blue and white was a little different. These aren't entirely too valuable, but you know, for a $3 price tag, most of the ones I saw were selling for like $50. So even if I sold this for 40, it'd still make me a good profit off the investment. Then I found this, and this is definitely Asian. I'm not entirely sure if it's Japanese or Chinese. I got this for, price tag still on here, $5.49. This is hand painted, and it does look more modern, and I definitely think it is more modern, but it's stuck to this wood base here. So I can't see if there's any markings or anything on the bottom. But the thing that, you know, really made me want to get this is just the detail. A lot of times, even with these, the figures or, you know, all this stuff will be painted, and, you know, the paint will be running out of the outlines, and it'll just be done. It'll be, looks like it's done really quickly. But these are, you know, a lot more precise. The color is very vibrant. The vase is in perfect condition. There's no chips or damage or anything to it. And I just thought it was a kind of a different scene with a couple deers here inside this fence, and then you got some trees and whatever else. So I don't know anything. I haven't even tried to look this up yet, so I have absolutely no idea how old it is or who might have made it or how much it's worth. But for $5.49, I definitely think I could make a profit off of this, just given the quality of the painting and the overall condition of the vase. So the next two items I'll show you as a pair, but I actually found them, like I found this one first, and then when I went around for a quick second check down the aisles, which I usually do, sometimes if there's a lot of people in the aisle or I get, you know, focused on one thing, I notice that I will, you know, kind of pass over some other stuff. And I can't tell you how many times that I went back and just went down the aisles and did a quick glance over one more time and found something really valuable that I just totally missed the first time. So if I have time, I like to do that. But this is the first one that I saw, and this is Chinese. It's all made of metal and enamel, and it obviously jumped right out at me, just given the gold coloring and, you know, the gold background and the bright colors. And I knew this was Chinese right away. And even the bottom is pretty cool with this flower design. And it's got a little foo dog type thing here at the top. I got this one for $7.99. And I did look this up online, and I did see this on some auction sites and different things that actually sold for a decent amount of money. But who knows if I'll be able to get that. I mean, it's in fairly good condition. There's some discoloring here at the top on these little arms. The lid looks to be a little bit, doesn't match up perfectly, maybe a little bit bent up. But other than that, I mean, there's no big chunks of this enamel missing or anything. So I thought this was definitely a unique find at the thrift store. I do find a lot of other pieces that are kind of similar, but they don't have this relief work in the metal with all the enamel over it, which makes it really it's very ornate and definitely kind of cool. I mean, it's not like how the legs are and stuff, and even the top sort of looks a little bit cheap, I guess, but I know it's older, and I don't know, definitely kind of a cool piece for $8. Then I also, when I went back the second time, I found this one, and this one is definitely more vibrant, looks newer, and here's a blue enamel here at the bottom. I don't know if I would, if I gave these to an auction house to sell, I'd probably just pair them together and sell them as a pair. But if I sold these online, then I'd probably sell them separately. But this one's in fantastic condition. It's very, it almost looks brand new. It's hard for me to tell like exactly how old these are, but I know they're at least vintage. They're very striking pieces. And this one I got was only at $5.49. So I didn't really understand why the one that isn't in the best condition, it's not horrible, but I mean, it's not perfect. This one looks brand new and it was only $5.49. So I'm not complaining. So to round up my Sunday haul at Goodwill is this piece. And as soon as I saw it, it just looked very unique to me. So I just gravitated towards it. This is actually a piece of wood, and the whole frame is wrapped in leather. And then this is all relief work done on copper. And I do see a decent amount of like, relief work, like copper wise. But a lot of times it's like religious stuff, like the Last Supper, or, Jesus at the cross, or, something like that. But this one is signed here at the bottom. I believe it says Sant. And I haven't really had a chance to figure out exactly, who might have made this. But it's very, I don't know, pretty detailed, and just got a nice image to it. Sorry, it's pretty dusty. I didn't clean this thing off. But it was only, I saw the price tag on the back. It was only $6.99. And just given that I always like to get, I've said this before, but I always like to get unique things, things you don't see, because I'm in thrift stores all the time. And a lot of times I'll see the same stuff. And even if, it might be listed on eBay for, $50 or $60, if there's a ton of those items, then they're obviously a lot harder to sell. I mean, you're basically selling on price alone. But when you find unique stuff that you don't see all the time, that's when you can actually make quicker sales and, better chance of making a higher profit. So this is definitely something I wanted to take a shot at. And I found this towards the end, and I was kind of worn out because it was a Sunday, and, there was a lot of people there, and the line was getting longer and all that stuff. So I figured I'd take a shot at this, seeing that it was signed here in the corner. Not sure, like I said before, what I could get for this. I have to do some more research, and hopefully I'll find that it'll make me a decent profit. So that was all my Sunday haul, which I spent $69 on everything. That includes tax, and I always round up just because, it's always, it's a couple cents, who cares? But I do have a couple other treasures that I wanted to show you. This is an original watercolor, and it is titled and signed here on the back. It's not like typed out or anything, and I have no clue yet what this guy's last name is. I know his first name's Vincent, and it's titled Playing Child with Coco. And it's a strange title. I don't really know exactly, but I mean, that's what it says on the back. But it's very detailed. I mean, it's on the smaller side, but given, just the detail in a watercolor like this, I thought it was a cool image. And signed right here, Vincent, whatever this is. And it was done in 1997 but this was only $4.99. And it does have, obviously this child looks like, maybe Hawaii or some sort of island, obviously, with the palm leaves and the headband and stuff. And you can see the palm tree and the ocean probably back in the right upper corner. And then it is in this bamboo frame. But for $4.99, thought it was worth a shot to try to figure out what that signature is, just given the detail and, the overall quality of the art. I'll have to do some more research on this. Next piece here, I also got for $4.99. And this is a pencil drawing of what looks to be a winter scene. I think it's winter because there are no leaves on the trees, and it just kind of gives me that feel. Harder to tell, obviously, seeing that it's just in pencil, but it's just a, bridge and then house off here on the right or on the left side. It's very well done. I didn't see a signature, and I actually took the back, like I cut the paper on the back and tried to see if I could see a signature, but I didn't see anything. So I have no clue who this is by. It does have a Gallery 1 sticker down here at the bottom. It's definitely a vintage piece, but me trying to figure out the artist on this probably is not going to be an easy task. I thought it was very well done. I like the depth that you can see, especially with the trees way off in the distance, how they're, it just gives you a good feel of, dimension to the whole piece. So I really like this. I don't know. I could definitely make a profit on it. It would just really help if I could figure out who the artist was. This might just be, somebody that got this framed at Gallery 1. I don't know. But it's a vintage pencil drawing and super easy to ship, obviously, just given the size. It's in a nice frame. This wood bamboo type style frame in black. And it is triple matted. So, I don't know. I'll try to do some research. I already looked on Gallery 1's website and looked at their pencil artists, but, they really only show the artists that have work, currently at the gallery. And this is obviously an older piece. Hopefully I can figure it out, but if not, it's okay. Still make something off of that drawing. So the next piece I also got for $4.99, and I think pretty much all of this stuff I'm showing you right now, I got at Goodwill. But this is a limited edition print, and I'm not exactly sure on the artist's first name, but the last name is Borgo Richards, and this is a folk art type piece. It's a limited edition, 330 out of 1,000, and her work is actually pretty collectible, depending on, the price varies depending on how rare some of these different pieces are. But on the back here, this one is titled Mama's Children, and she did a lot of Amish art and family type scenes. I saw most of her work, the limited edition stuff. I think this is $4.99. It's not too big. A lot of her stuff I saw selling or sold for right around $100. So it's not like a huge moneymaker, but definitely a good piece for only $5. I definitely will be able to make, I would think, at least 50 or 75, if not 100 for it. So I didn't see any of this exact print, this limited edition one, but a lot of her work obviously is similar. It's just this one is a good size, and I think would fit really good in a country style or that sort of home. So I have one more thing to show you, and this is potentially the most profitable item that I found. And I'm still doing research on exactly, the maker and everything else on this, like the age and stuff. But this is a letter opener. It's obviously pretty old. And when I got this, And this is one thing to look at. I have found a couple times pieces of, silver that are just entirely tarnished to make them look obviously like not silver if you just give it a glance, especially older pieces, because a lot of times the marks will be worn down or harder to see. So that's always something to look at. If you see, like, this is obviously pretty detailed and it's not done by machine because, these lines aren't perfectly straight. You can see how worn away it is at the top. And there are, here at the back, there are those little divots, craters, and it's really hard. I mean, hopefully you can get a good idea of what I'm talking about. But I did polish this up because I needed to see, it looks like, and you'll never be able to see that, but it looks like there's a raised signature here. And then on the back, there is an impressed maker's mark, or like artist or whoever did this. There's also another stamp. And when you see, especially like silver items, the older stuff, you could see a lot of different markings. So that, like, there might be commonly in different silver, say it's like a teapot or, a silver goblet or whatever it might be. There could be like 3 little markings right next to each other. And those will tell you, when it was made, like who made it, and, whatever else. I don't remember exactly. That sort of stuff usually equals an older piece. Whereas if you see just, a clear stamp or whatever, probably more modern. But this is stamped also 900. That tells me it's probably 900 silver. A lot of time, like a lot of the silver now, like sterling silver, is 925. I mean, this is solid. So if this is 900 silver, the value alone just on, the weight of the silver will, definitely make up for, this was only 219. So it's definitely, big profit there. But then this mark here is so worn away, I can't read what it says. So I have no idea what that mark says, and I can't read because this is so small and condensed here. I can't read that either. Looks like an Aztec type, either Mexican or Peru or something, I would think, just given the style down here and the style of the dude at the top. But this is something I did post to a couple antique groups on Facebook. Haven't got anything yet. So hopefully I'll be able to uncover, where this came from, how old it might be, and the maker of it. Even given, you could tell this is all handmade because it's not perfectly uniform anywhere. So this was a really, really unique thing to find at the thrift store. I did see some similar things selling I saw a couple for like $675, $700. Obviously love to get that, but I still need to figure out more details before I'm able to sell this piece. Well, that's all I got for you guys today. Those are all the treasures that I found in the last 5 or 6 days or so. I appreciate you guys watching. Let me know what you guys really liked out of this stuff. And also let me know if you found any really great treasures over the last, week, month, whatever. I'll be back soon with a video on some recent auction buys. I had a couple auction buys in the last, couple weeks or something. And also I got another sports box coming. So it's in the mail. I think it should be here, maybe early next week. So that'll be really good. And I'll do another video opening one of those sports boxes. This one is from the same company, sportscards.com, and but it's a platinum version. So there are some signed cards, I think, in there, and, a whole bunch of other stuff. Hopefully there's something really good. Who knows? I'll have that video out as soon as I get the box and I can show you guys what's inside. Stay safe out there. Good luck out there treasure hunting, and I'll see you in the next video.